He is packed. His bags are sitting on the tarmac. The transport plane that will take him home is waiting 50 yards away. The war is over for him. 28 German planes shot down. Top American ace in all of Europe. His commanders are telling him to go home and sell war bonds. And Gabby Gabreski almost does. Almost. Instead, he walks back to the briefing tent and asks if he can fly one more mission. Just one. Nobody stops him. Nobody should have let him go. Because in less than 3 hours, Gabby Gabreski will crash land in a German field with enemy soldiers running toward him from every direction. And the man who was impossible to kill in the air will spend the next 10 months learning what it means to survive on the ground. Francis Stanley Gabraszewski is born on January 28, 1919, in Oil City, Pennsylvania. His father Stanley came over from Poland in 1909 with nothing but a strong back and a willingness to work. Oil City is a factory town, divided the way working-class towns are always divided. The Polish families stay with the Poles. The Germans stay with the Germans. The Italians with the Italians. Young Francis grows up speaking Polish at home in the streets, and in the Catholic school his family attends. His mother speaks only a few words of English her entire life. His father builds something from nothing, a grocery store called the Purity Market, then real estate, then enough wealth to give his 5 children a real future. Francis is the third of 5. He is not a star student. He scrapes through high school. He goes to Notre Dame and nearly fails out. He is, by his own admission, something of a ladies' man who cares more about talking than studying. When his eldest brother Ted suggests the family change their Polish surname to Gabreski to make it easier to pronounce, everyone agrees. Francis becomes Gabby. The nickname fits. He likes to talk. He likes to charm. But underneath all of that, he is burning with something he cannot quite name yet. In 1938, Gabby takes his first flying lesson. A small Taylorcraft aircraft. An instructor named Homer Stockert. 6 hours of instruction. At the end of those 6 hours, Stockert sits Gabby down and tells him the truth. He does not have the touch to be a pilot. Gabby goes home crushed. His father is already disappointed about Notre Dame. Washing out of flying is just one more failure. But when Germany invades Poland on September 1st, 1939, something ignites inside Gabby Gabreski. Those are his people. That is his heritage. And the country his parents came from is being destroyed while he sits in a lecture hall barely passing his classes. He volunteers for Army Air Corps flight training immediately. The Army Air Corps sends Gabby to Parks Air College near East St. Louis for primary training. He struggles immediately. His civilian instructor and the Stearman biplane trainer watches him for weeks and makes the same call Stockert made. Gabby is not good enough. In September 1940, his instructor recommends him for an elimination flight. An Army flight examiner named Captain Ray Wassell is called in. Elimination rides are usually just that. They eliminate the pilot. Wassell takes Gabby up and watches him fly. He sees something that his civilian colleagues missed. Not natural talent, not smooth hands, but determination. An aggressive will to keep trying that most washouts do not have. Wassell decides to keep him in. Gabby goes to basic training at Gunter Field in Alabama, then advanced training at Maxwell Field. On March 1st, 1941, his family drives to Maxwell to watch him collect his wings and his commission as a second lieutenant. His father, who built everything from nothing, watches his son graduate as an officer. Gabby's first assignment is Wheeler Field, Hawaii. To a poor Polish kid from Oil City, Pennsylvania, the islands feel like paradise. He flies Curtiss P-36s and P-40s almost every day. He eats well, he sleeps well, he socializes. He is relaxed in a way he has never been before. Everything is good. Until 7:53 in the morning on December 7th, 1941. Japanese aircraft fill the sky over Pearl Harbor. Gabby helps push planes around on the ramp and eventually gets airborne in a P-36. By the time he reaches altitude, the Japanese are long gone. He spends his sortie avoiding friendly anti-aircraft fire and staring at the burning ships below him. He has been in the wrong place twice now. He intends to fix that. After Pearl Harbor, Gabby wants to fight, but nobody quite knows what to do with him in Hawaii. He patrols, he trains, he waits. Then he has an idea that no one else would have thought of. He speaks Polish. The Royal Air Force has Polish squadrons in Britain, flying Spitfires against the Germans. These are men who have been fighting the Luftwaffe since 1939. They know things about German tactics that no American pilot knows yet. Gabby writes up a request. He argues that a Polish-speaking American fighter pilot embedded with a Polish RAF squadron could bring back tactical knowledge that would save American lives. The request moves slowly through the chain of command. In October 1942, someone in the Pentagon agrees. Gabby is promoted to captain and shipped to England. He spends several weeks being pushed from desk to desk because nobody knows exactly what he is supposed to be doing there. Then he finds the Polish pilots. In December 1942, he is assigned to Royal Air Force No. 315 Squadron. They fly Supermarine Spitfire Mark 9 aircraft, the best Allied fighter in the sky at that moment. The Poles who fly them have been fighting since the German invasion of their country. They have nothing left to lose and everything to prove. Squadron leader Tadeusz Anders takes Gabby under his wing. He teaches him the finger four formation. He teaches him the rodeo and circus maneuvers designed to pull German fighters into a fight. He teaches him the most important lesson any fighter pilot can learn. Hold your fire until you are close. Get within 250 yards, then shoot. Resist the urge to fire from far away and waste ammunition. Wait, close, then kill. Gabby flies more than 24 missions with the Poles and sees combat only once. But he watches everything. He memorizes every lesson. When he leaves No. 315 Squadron on February 27, 1943, he is a completely different pilot from the man who almost washed out in Alabama. Gabby joins the United States Army Air Force's 56th Fighter Group under Lieutenant Colonel Hubert Zemke. The men call themselves Zemke's Wolf Pack. They fly Republic P-47 Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolt is enormous compared to the Spitfire. It is heavy, fast in a dive, and armed with 8 50 caliber machine guns. Some pilots love it immediately. Gabby approaches it carefully, the same way he approaches every new plane, with anxiety first, then respect. The problem is that the men of the 56th do not want him there. Most of them have been together since the group was activated in early 1941. They trained together. They shipped overseas together. They watched close to 20 of their own die during the difficult early days of flying the new and unproven P-47, and now a stranger with a Polish surname shows up with a captain's rank, skipping ahead of men who have paid for their seniority in blood. Ace Gerald Johnson says later that Gabby was not treated fairly. The men are cold to him. They do not include him. They watch him from a distance. Gabby does not complain. He schedules himself onto as many missions as possible. He leads his flight aggressively. He works as the squadron operations officer. He earns his position one sortie at a time. On August 24, 1943, flying at 27,000 feet over France, Gabby spots 7 Focke-Wulf 190s 10,000 feet below him, preparing to attack a formation of American bombers. He immediately leads his flight of 4 straight down behind the German fighters. Remembering what Anders taught him, he holds his fire until he is within 250 yards of the German flight leader. Then he opens up. The Focke-Wulf dives into the ground. Gabby Gabreski has his first confirmed kill. 2 years after nearly washing out, the outsider from Oil City is finally in the fight. Let us know in the comments where you are watching this from. Are you in the United States, Germany, the United Kingdom, or somewhere else? We would love to know who is keeping these stories alive, because Gabby Gabreski is just getting started, and the Germans are about to realize they have a very serious problem. After the first kill, Gabby adds 2 more Focke-Wulfs in the following weeks. Then, November 26, 1943, he is leading a bomber escort when a group of Messerschmitt 110s attacks the formation. Gabby makes a stern attack on the nearest twin-engine fighter. The Messerschmitt explodes suddenly and completely. Large pieces of the shattered aircraft rip across his canopy and smash into his right wing. The P-47 shudders but keeps flying. Gabby climbs back up and finds another 110. He shoots it down too. 2 kills in 1 fight. He is now an ace. The kills keep coming. February 20th, 1944. 2 Messerschmitt 110s destroyed in a single sweeping attack. February 22nd, his 14th kill. 1 of 8 the squadron scores that day. The Wolfpack is destroying German fighters at a rate that is forcing the Luftwaffe to change their tactics over the Western Front, and Gabi is at the center of all of it. On May 22nd, he scores a triple over Kiel. 3 Focke-Wulfs in one mission. His total reaches 22. By June 27th, he has 28 victories, tying the record set by his fellow ace Robert Johnson and surpassing the World War I record of Captain Eddie Rickenbacker. On July 5, 1944, Gabi Gabreski becomes the top American ace in the European theater of operations. His 28th kill is a Messerschmitt 109. His squadron's 5 kills that day brings their total to 230, the best record of any fighter squadron in the entire European theater. The publicity is immediate and overwhelming. Reporters want to talk to him. Photographers want to photograph him. The Army Air Forces wants him home in America selling war bonds. His commanding officers tell him he has flown enough. His tour is done. He packs his bags. He says his goodbyes. He walks toward the transport plane that will take him home to Pennsylvania. He is one step from the rest of his life, and then he stops. July 20th, 1944. Gabi Gabreski stops walking toward the transport plane, turns around and walks back to the operations tent. He scans the field order on the table, a bomber escort mission to Rüsselsheim, near Frankfurt. The bombers need protection. The mission looks good. Gabi cannot help himself. He asks to fly one more sortie. Just one. His commanding officer does not stop him. Nobody stops him. His bags come off the transport plane. Gabi climbs into the cockpit of his P-47 Thunderbolt and takes off. The escort mission goes smoothly. The American B-24 Liberator bombers drop their loads on target and turn for England. Gabi scans the ground below for targets of opportunity. He spots an airfield near Bassenheim and leads his flight down to strafe it. He comes in fast at treetop level. He lines up on a parked Heinkel 111 bomber and fires. He misses. And here Gabi Gabreski violates the iron rule he has always followed. Never make a second pass on a strafing target. The first pass uses the element of surprise. The second pass finds the guns ready and waiting. Gabi makes a 180-degree turn and comes back. On the second run, his bullets seem to be going high over the Heinkel. He pushes the nose down to correct. He pushes it down a fraction too far. His propeller tips scrape the ground. The impact bends the prop blades back and destroys the engine's control mechanism. The P-47 shudders violently. Hydraulic fluid sprays across the windscreen. Gabi cannot see anything. The plane is still flying, but barely. He finds a farmer's field below him and puts the Thunderbolt down. The landing is hard but controlled. The plane slides to a stop in a German field, hundreds of miles inside enemy territory. Gabi Gabreski climbs out of the cockpit, looks around at the flat German countryside stretching in every direction, and runs for the trees. Gabi is dazed but unhurt. He has no food, no water, no map, and no German. He is wearing a flight suit with American markings. Every farmer, every soldier, every policeman in Germany is a potential captor. He makes it to a tree line and disappears into the woods. He knows roughly where he is. He knows the Allied lines are far to the west. He starts moving. For 5 days, Gabi Gabreski evades German search parties in the countryside near Koblenz. He sleeps in ditches and under bushes. He drinks from streams. He eats nothing. The summer heat drains what little energy he has. Search teams comb the fields around him. He can hear dogs in the distance. He changes direction every time the sounds get close. He uses every instinct he has built over years of combat flying. Stay alert. Keep moving. Never stay in one place too long. By July 25th, 5 days after the crash, Gabi is too weak to continue. His legs are cramping. His vision is blurring from hunger. He is barely moving. A German policeman spots him near a road and approaches. Gabi is too exhausted to run. He is taken into custody and transferred to the military at Oberursel, the Luftwaffe interrogation center near Frankfurt. He is brought into an interview room. An affable English-speaking German intelligence officer named Hans Scharf is sitting at a desk. Scharf looks up at the American prisoner and smiles. "Hello, Gabi," he says. "We have been waiting for you for a long time. If you are enjoying this story and want more untold accounts from World War II, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are bringing you stories that most history books never covered. Now let us go inside the prisoner of war camp, where the top American ace in Europe will spend the next 10 months. Hans Scharf is unlike any interrogator Gabby has been warned about. He does not threaten. He does not shout. He takes Gabby for walks in the countryside around Oberursel, pointing out birds and plants, making casual conversation. He already knows Gabby's name, rank, unit, and score. He knows the 56th Fighter Group's tactics. He is fishing for confirmation, not discovery. Gabby gives him nothing useful. After the standard processing, Gabby is transferred north to Stalag Luft 1, a Luftwaffe-run prisoner of war camp at Barth on the Baltic Sea coast, north of Berlin. When Gabby arrives at Stalag Luft 1, familiar faces are waiting for him. Pilots from the 56th Fighter Group who were shot down in earlier missions. Men he flew with. Men he led. A few weeks after Gabby arrives, another familiar face appears. Colonel Hub Zemke himself. Zemke's P-51 Mustang came apart in a thunderstorm over Germany in October 1944. Zemke bailed out and was captured. The Wolfpack's commanding officer is now the ranking American officer in the camp. He takes charge immediately, organizing the prisoners and maintaining discipline. The camp holds thousands of Allied airmen. It is run according to the Geneva Convention, which means the treatment is far better than what ground force prisoners experience in German army camps. There are Red Cross parcels with food and cigarettes. There are books and limited recreation. But there is also boredom, grinding, relentless boredom. Gabby describes it years later as the hardest part. Not the danger, not the cold, not even the hunger. The boredom. Day after day with nothing to do except wait for a war to end. Gabby was a man built for action. The waiting nearly breaks him. The autumn of 1944 passes slowly. Then comes winter. Germany is losing the war on all fronts. The Allied bombing campaign is strangling the German supply network. Even the Luftwaffe, which runs the camp, cannot consistently supply it. The Red Cross parcels that kept the prisoners from starving begin arriving irregularly. Then they stop coming entirely. By the winter of 1944 to 1945, the situation in Stalag Luft 1 has become desperate. Sub-zero temperatures, inadequate clothing, almost nothing to eat. The men burn furniture to stay warm. They eat whatever the Germans can provide, which is increasingly almost nothing. Gabby describes the winter as a horrific period. He is physically strong from years of athletic flying, but even he loses significant weight. The men around him are gaunt. Some are sick. The camp's medical facilities are overwhelmed. The prisoners count the days not because they want to, but because counting days is the only way to feel like time is still moving forward. Meanwhile, the war outside the wire is collapsing toward its end. On the Eastern Front, Soviet forces are pushing deep into Germany. On the Western Front, the Americans and British have survived the Battle of the Bulge and are crossing into Germany itself. In the camps, the prisoners can hear artillery in the distance. The sound grows closer every week. In the barracks of Stalag Luft 1, men who have been prisoners for years start to believe that they might actually survive. Here is what Gabby Gabreski accomplished before that prop touched the German ground. 28 confirmed aerial kills over Europe, making him the highest-scoring American fighter pilot against the Luftwaffe in the entire war. A record that was never surpassed by any American pilot fighting the German Air Force for the remainder of World War II. He flew 165 combat missions before his capture. He shot down his 28th plane on July 5, 1944. The same day his 61st Fighter Squadron's total reached 230 kills, the best record of any American fighter squadron in the European theater. His score on that day matched the total of the Pacific Theater's top ace, Richard Bong, making Gabby simultaneously the top ace in both theaters of the war at that moment. 3 more German aircraft were destroyed on the ground in strafing attacks, bringing his total destruction to 31 aircraft. He flew a prop-driven P-47 Thunderbolt for all 28 aerial kills. No other American pilot scored as many kills in the P-47 during the entire war. His decorations included the Distinguished Service Cross, the Silver Star with Oak Leaf Cluster, and the Distinguished Flying Cross with 12 oak leaf clusters. He was recommended for those honors before his capture. meaning that the man sitting in a freezing German prisoner of war camp in the winter of 1944 was already one of the most decorated combat pilots in American history. And the most astonishing part of that record is how close it never happened. He was told he had no touch for flying in 1938. He almost failed his elimination flight in 1940. He damaged his hand so badly in a prop accident that a surgeon had to set his finger in a permanently curved position, grounding him for 3 months. And Me-109 cannon round blasted through his cockpit, nearly took his foot off, and knocked out his turbocharger over Germany. Another Messerschmitt exploded close enough to shred his canopy with debris. And finally, a prop tip brushing German soil ended the career of the man no German fighter pilot could shoot down. April 30th, 1945. Soviet troops appear outside the wire at Stalag Luft 1. The guards have fled. The camp is free. Thousands of Allied airmen pour out of the barracks and into the open air for the first time in months without guards watching them. The reaction is immediate and chaotic. Men want to walk out of the gate and start moving west toward the American lines. Colonel Zemke stands in front of the crowd and orders everyone to stop. They will wait. They will stay organized. Aircraft will come to fly them out. Leaving on foot through a Germany still crawling with desperate soldiers is a way to get killed 1 week before going home. The men listen to Zemke. They wait. On May 14th, 1945, Gabi Gabreski is flown out of Germany. He makes his way back to England and visits his old unit, the 56th Fighter Group. The men who are still there greet him like the brother they once refused to accept. He then boards a transport plane and flies directly to New York. The post-war chaos means no ticker tape parade, no official ceremony, no presidential handshake. Gabi lands in New York and makes his way to Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, to see his fiancée, Kay Cochran. They had been writing letters since his early days in England. She had not known for weeks after his crash whether he was alive. He had not been able to tell her anything from inside the camp. They make plans for a June wedding immediately. Gabi comes home to Oil City for a hero's welcome and a war bond tour. His father, the Polish immigrant who built a grocery store into real estate and sent his children to college, watches his son receive honors from military officers and congressmen. For a man who grew up in a divided factory town where Polish families stayed with the Poles, this is something else entirely. After the war, Gabi cannot stay still. He tries working for Douglas Aircraft selling planes in South America. He is miserable. In April 1947, he rejoins the Army Air Forces as a lieutenant colonel and takes command of the 55th Fighter Squadron in South Carolina. He is home. When the Air Force introduces the North American P-51 Mustang, then the Lockheed P-80 Shooting Star, its first operational jet fighter, Gabi learns each one methodically. He is 30 years old. He is as sharp as he has ever been. On June 25, 1950, Communist North Korean forces invade South Korea. Gabi immediately volunteers for combat duty. His wife Kay, pregnant with their 4th child, is not pleased. He waits for the baby to be born, then ships out. On June 17, 1951, Gabi takes off on his first Korean War combat mission in an F-86 Sabre jet. He is 32 years old. He worries whether his eyes are still sharp enough, whether his reflexes have slowed after years of peacetime flying. On July 8th, he finds a MiG-15 below him near the Yalu River and dives on its tail. He holds his fire until he is close. Then he opens up. The MiG disintegrates. His question is answered. By April 1st, 1952, Gabi Gabreski has shot down 4.5 MiG-15s in Korea. He is leading a flight along the Yalu River when he spots 30 MiGs climbing up from the Chinese side of the border. The international line he is not supposed to cross is right there. The MiGs are right there. Gabi crosses the line. He dives on a MiG straggler heading back to base and fires until the pilot blows his canopy and ejects. That kill makes Gabi Gabreski an ace in 2 wars. The first American to achieve that distinction. He scores 1 more kill on April 12th, finishing his Korean War total at 6.5 confirmed victories. Gabi Gabreski retires from the United States Air Force on October 31, 1967, after 27 years of service. He is a full colonel. He goes to work for Grumman Aircraft on Long Island the very next day and stays with them for 20 years. In 1978, he is inducted into the National Aviation Hall of Fame for displaying unusual valor and new combat tactics in becoming a leading ace in 2 wars. In 1992, Suffolk County Airport on Long Island is renamed Francis S. Gabreski Airport in his honor. He loses his wife Kay in a car accident on August 6, 1993. They had 9 children together. In his final years, Gabby is recognized as America's greatest living ace. He gives interviews, he attends reunions, he talks to young pilots about what it means to fly and fight. He publishes his autobiography titled Gabby, A Fighter Pilot's Life in 1998. On January 31, 2002, Francis Stanley Gabreski dies of a heart attack. He is 82 years old. His final numbers span 2 wars and 2 decades. 289 total combat missions. 34.5 enemy aircraft destroyed. The top American ace in Europe in World War II. An ace in Korea. A record against the Luftwaffe that no American pilot ever surpassed. All of it built on a foundation that started with a flight instructor in a small Pennsylvania airfield, telling a Polish kid from Oil City that he would never learn how to fly. That is the thing about Gabby Gabreski that no statistic can fully capture. The Germans could not shoot him down in over 100 missions. It took his own propeller scraping German soil on a mission he was not even supposed to fly to put him in a prison camp. And even that did not break him. He came out the other side, went to Korea, and did it all over again. The man the Army Air Corps almost eliminated in 1940 became the deadliest American fighter pilot the Luftwaffe ever faced. And somewhere, in some filing cabinet at the Luftwaffe Interrogation Center at Oberursel, there is probably a folder with Gabby Gabreski's name on it, and written inside, in the handwriting of the affable Hans Scharf, is a note that says exactly what he said out loud on the day they finally caught him. "We have been waiting for you for a long time.